Hello Internet, welcome to Making Money. My name's Eric and this is your Daily Dollar, our financial segment where I give you one lesson every day to help you reach your financial goals. So we have been talking about a ton of stuff, a lot of lessons over the past few weeks. I'm actually going to be going back to a discussion that we had a while back now, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. And it's a methodology that I had talked about at the time really quickly, but it's something that I truly believe in and something that I really see a lot of professionals succeeding using this methodology. And we're going to kind of harp back on it today, and we're going to kind of give you a new thing to look at with this methodology lens. There's definitely going to be more lessons coming out that talk about this way of thinking and other ways to incorporate it. But today we are talking about looking at your personal finances as if it was a business, and specifically taking your financial objectives and goals and treating them like project management. So we have a ton of goals. We talk about goals a lot on this channel. And we talk about how, we like to set SMART goals for, we talked about personal finance goals, investing goals, whatever the situation may be. You probably have a set of goals, and that set may even be larger than you realize. A lot of times we will work on new initiatives, financial projects, and things will get put on the back shelf, right? Over time, we'll have, objectives kind of in different stages. Today, we're going to kind of pull that all together. So the first thing, through this process of looking at it through project management, take all of your financial objectives and bring them together. List them all out. This is probably going to be a process where you find out you've got actually a lot more in the works than you thought you did. And maybe you don't. Maybe you just have a few, and that's perfectly fine too. I find that I tend to have a lot more projects than I think I do because I keep putting things off to the side and having to come back to them. So you'll have projects in different levels of completion, right? And that's perfectly fine. For this process, we're kind of getting a starting line, and we're going to go from there. The specific methodology that we're going to be looking at today for project management is something that I work with through the Lean Six Sigma program, and that is DMAIC, which is D as in define, M as in measure, A as in analyze, I as in improve, and C as in control. So DMAIC. So it is a project management process methodology that you can apply to a ton of stuff, mostly used for improvement projects, but implementation of things like financial projects works as well. So this is a way that we can, again, take a look at ourselves, our finances, as if it were a business, and treat our objectives as if they were improvement projects or projects that we were, trying to put something new in place for the business. So we've got all our projects together. The next thing that we want to do is do that D, that define stage. For each one of our projects, we want to break down exactly what the goal is of that project, right? What problems we might be facing that brought this on, why we need to do the project in the first place. The scope of the project, what does it cover? Is it investing related? Does it cover our, retirement fund? What's the scope of it? What doesn't it involve? This is important as well to make sure that you put in your charter is what we're basically doing, a project charter. Saying, okay, this is what we're going to do in this project. This is not what we're going to focus on in this project. It helps, narrow the scope a little bit. So lay that all out. Maybe who else is involved in this if you're not the only one. Sometimes our finances cross over with other people's finances. So once you've done that, take a look at your projects again. You might find that some projects overlap with other projects. The goals might be similar or exactly the same. And you might find that you can cut some projects that you really didn't need or, that other projects will handle. And that's fine. Killing projects isn't in itself a bad thing. In fact, it can be a good thing because, like we had mentioned before in Fail Faster, you want to make sure that you're cutting the dead weight as soon as possible. So this is your first chance to trim off any fat from your project list. That's not to say you should kill projects for project's sake, but if the cost outweighs the potential return, yeah, it's not worth it. The next step is to measure. And this is kind of baseline measurements. This is, let's say our project is in investing, right? We want to get from $1 value that we have right now in our portfolio to another dollar value in a certain amount of time. Just as an offhanded, because we've been talking about investing a lot. That's why that popped in my head. But we'll use that as our project example, right? Measurement in this case might be, okay, what's the baseline return for the market? How has it been for the last 10, 20, 30 years? What types of things are we looking to invest in? How have those returns been? Are there specific stocks that have been doing better than others? This is just, again, baseline measurements. We kind of, again, want to narrow the scope of the project a little bit by kind of seeing what the situation is. This gives us, information to really start digging into the project more. Then we get to the analyze part. And this is when we're actually analyzing the actual the steps that we're taking, right? So between measure and analyze, we're kind of coming up with, okay, this is the process that we're going to go through for the project. Analyze is now, we're breaking that down more. Okay, we've looked at these stocks, the measurements, we got some baseline measurements. Now let's take a look at those baselines versus what we want to do, some plans that we had, and start matching things up. What is the best investment strategy in this case based on the baseline information and the plans that we have for this project. Put that together. Next is to implement or improve depending on what your project is. This is where you would take the plan that you had put together from your measurements and analysis and put it into place. Give it a shot and start trying it out. See how you do. You could do pilot runs of this. Again, we had mentioned failing faster, doing a little bit at a time first. You can try that out. And then if it is working, then we have the control, and this is where we put it into place and basically run the course of the project. At any point during this project, during measure, analysis, implementation, we determine that, the costs are going to be way too high for this, or this isn't turning out exactly how we wanted to. We can do a few things. We can change the project slightly, adjust that charter, adjust the D step, and then mold the project so that we go in a new direction. That's perfectly fine. Another thing to do is, yes, you can kill a project. Anytime you kill a project, there's going to be some sunk costs. And by sunk costs, I mean either time or money that you've already put into that project, even if it's just a little bit at the define phase, you've put work in, right? So if you kill a project, that work may be lost. If it's something that you will never get any return from, that's a sunk cost. And if you're killing it, you're going to lose your sunk cost. Now, some people may argue the fact that, I've sunk cost in, but I've learned something through that. So in reality, I haven't lost everything. I have lost some time and potentially money, but lessons have been learned. But the farther you get in a project, the higher that sunk cost is going to be if you kill that project. So again, always good to keep looking at your projects and saying, okay, are we on track? Should we change course a little bit, or should we kill the project? And that's basically the idea. That's all we're talking about today. Hopefully this makes sense where I'm coming at. Hopefully you can try this yourselves. Take a look at some of your objectives right now. Set them up as if they were projects. See how it goes. DMAIC is just one project management methodology. There are definitely others out there that you can try. Feel free to take a look online and see if there's something that matches your needs better. but this is another way that you can treat your finances like a business, and hopefully it can help you reach some of your goals a little quicker or a little better. I hope you guys like this lesson. Again, this is a methodology I really like, and something I find, really works. So, I mean, that's the reason why I like it. But as always, I hope you guys are enjoying this series. If you are, feel free to subscribe. It keeps you connected with the next videos, and I really appreciate it. I'm interested. Have you ever tried to apply project management to your own financial goals in the past? If so, leave that down in the comments below. You can hit me up on Twitter, link in the description, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another lesson. All right, guys, see ya.